Hello everyone, I just wanted to pop on here real quick before I get to the meat and potatoes of this video and announce the work from home module, the hashtag WFH module sew along, so the work from home module sew along winner. So I finally just went ahead and pulled that winner randomly. I think I got everyone. I really went through the entire hashtag and I'm pretty sure it's been long enough now that I'm seeing everything that was posted to it, checking dates, and I kind of went through everything with a fine tooth comb to really make sure I was getting everyone entered, and then made a spreadsheet and they did a random number generator. And Malin Hilevi, Malin, I'm so sorry. I'm sure that I'm totally butchering your name. I really apologize. I'll put it here. Was our winner, and so she won the $50 voucher from Screech Owl Fine Fabrics. Thank you so much, Screech Owl, for reaching out to me and offering that prize. And she also won a 1-month subscription to In a Haystack, which is the digital sewing pack. So thank you again, In a Haystack, also for offering that prize for the work from home module sew along. And I am so sorry that it took so long. I was not anticipating Instagram shutting their hashtags down temporarily, so that kind of threw a wrench into things. But I just want to thank you all for participating and for all the posts on the hashtag, and you can totally continue posting to that hashtag just for fun. But yes, I did want to announce the winner, so congratulations to Malin. Yes, I just wanted to make that announcement. So without further ado, we will get into this today's video. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today I've got a lookbook for you. So I shared my plans, I'll pop a link up to that video, for family photos. So we were having our family pictures professionally taken last week, and I had planned on making outfits for myself, my son, and my daughter. My husband just wore something he already had, and we got our pictures taken as, you know, for the family. It had been 4 years since we'd had professional pictures taken, and it was time to refresh all of the picture frames, and then just document this part in our lives. You know, the kids start high school next year, and you know, it's just a big one. So the next family photos we'll probably get is when they're having like senior pictures taken. Oh, hello, did you want to join us? We have a very clean Gidget. She had her teeth cleaned on Monday and then a grooming appointment with a bath yesterday, so she smells really good, both her breath and her body. Hi, baby. Okay, so for today, I'm going to be showing you what I ended up making. So I showed the patterns that I was going to be using and the fabrics last time when that last video, and now I'm going to show you the finished results. So I don't have any of the actual pictures that the photographer took. Number one, I'm not sure what the rules are there with like copyright, you know, who owns those, that kind of thing. But she did tag me on one photo of my mom and sister and I on Instagram, and then I reposted that and shared that. So definitely, if you don't already, if you're on Instagram, definitely follow me on there, because I will probably be showing the actual family photos on there as Meredith the photographer gets those all edited and ready to go. So I don't know if you'll see those on the channel, but I did take my husband took some pictures while we were waiting for the rest of the family to get their pictures. So it was a photo shoot with the four of us, my parents, and then my sister and her family, her husband and her 3 kids. So anyway, while we were waiting, I had my husband take some footage and some pictures of my son, my daughter, and myself. And I'm buttoning this shirt up. Okay, we'll start with my son. So I will leave links down to both the patterns and the fabrics down below. But I made my son the Fairfield shirt by Thread Theory. And it comes in 2 versions. It has an average version and do they call it curvy? Basically for like a belly, I think. Size ranges, and you get both when you buy the pattern. I went with the average for him because my son is very slim. Let's see, what did we do to it? I made the very smallest size, which I think it just comes like extra small, small, medium, large. I think this was an extra small. We shortened the body of the shirt by 2 inches. This was drafted for someone 5'7", and my son's about 5'5"-ish probably right now. So I actually held up the pattern pieces to him, and he showed me where he wanted it to hit on his body, and it was about 2 inches above. In hindsight, we probably could have gotten away with just shortening it an inch. It fits him fine now, but I'm worried when he grows just a little bit, that's gonna be problematic. And then with the sleeves, let's see, I shortened them an inch because I measured his arm, but then it comes off his shoulder a little bit. So then after I had made the sleeve, I ended up cutting another inch just off the bottom of the sleeve before I attached the cuff, because it needed to come up just a little bit. And it fits him great now. Let's see what else. I did not do a bias tape on the bottom, although I kind of wish I would have. I was just hurrying through things. So I did just a regular narrowed hem on the bottom for the hem. We did a fun contrasting buttonhole for the very bottom one with a contrasting button. This is just the back side of a white shirt button I have. Can you see that? He picked that out. He just wanted something fun for the bottom button, which I know a lot of designer shirts do. Typically that's tucked in, but maybe my son never tucks his button-up shirts in. But anyway. What else? I did, this has a tower placket for the sleeve. I did mine on the bias. I kind of feel like I should have probably put a buttonhole and button there, but I didn't. I mean, I could go back and add that, but yeah, but I did the sleeve plackets on the bias. I chose just white buttons from my stash. I'm pretty happy with the pattern matching throughout the entire shirt. I think we hit the major points. This has just been washed. It washed up beautifully. I used it's actually a stretch cotton shirting from StyleMaker Fabrics. He wouldn't need the stretch necessarily, and actually the stretch made it a little difficult when I was doing my plackets on the bias. Like they were not behaving well. I love the way that they ended up, and actually washing the shirt after having made it helped put things back in order a little bit. They kind of stretched out a little bit when I was sewing them, but I think they're fine now. And but I mean, it does make for, you know, comfort. So there's a little bit of crosswise stretch in this fabric. It goes absolutely perfect with our family colors. So I don't have any pictures that I'm going to be showing you today of all three of us in this. But again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the whole family. So we had people in kind of a dusty pink. My brother-in-law had on dusty pink. My mother had on dusty pink. My dad had on cranberry. My sister and I both had on olive green. And actually my sister and I had the same colored lipstick on because she wore it on Thanksgiving and loved it so much. It was my lipstick that we put it on. She put it on for the pictures. And so we look a lot more alike than we normally do, I feel like. I think there's definitely similarities between the two of us. I think she looks a lot more like my mom than I do. I think I look a lot more like my dad. I mean, obviously, I have some of my mom in me, and a lot of people, we have similar mannerisms, so people are like, oh my gosh, you're looking so much like your mother, but I think my sister really looks like my mom. Anyway, we do look a lot alike because we're in the same color with the same lipstick, and our hair is similar-ish in coloring. She has curlier hair than I do, but anyway, we were both in that, and then her boys were in cranberry-colored sweaters with jeans and button-ups. Her daughter was in a dusty pink cardigan, and it was her dress that we went off of for the entire color palette. And then you'll see what my kids were in. And my husband was in kind of a red/cranberry sweater with a button up underneath it, and then jeans. And then obviously you're seeing my son in his jeans. So yeah. He was very pleased with this. I think it looked great on him. This wasn't typically a color that I would necessarily pick for him. I think he might be, what do you guys think? He may be a winter. I think he and my husband might be winters. They're both olive skinned. His hair is coming off of being light, so it goes really light in the summer, almost blonde in places, because it gets bleached out, and he plays a lot of soccer. So being out in the sun, it bleaches his hair out, but then once we get into winter, it gets pretty dark. And actually this summer it didn't get as blonde as it did, and his hair seems to be getting darker just because he's getting older. But he has got like dark blue eyes and then olive skin. And then my husband is also olive skinned with greenish eyes, greenish bluish eyes, and then dark hair. So I don't know. Do you think, does that make them winters? They look, I think they look really good in like true colors, like Crayola colors, like, you know, blues, like a bright true blue, true reds, Kelly greens, those colors. But anyway, who knows? But yeah, but I think that this still looked really good. And I think as a whole, with the whole family, everything looked really good. I love this pattern. It's one of my favorite shirt patterns. Now, I did buy, Liesl & Co. had a 40% off sale for Black Friday, and she has a men's shirt pattern as well. I think it's called the Everyday or the anytime, something like that shirt pattern that I'm excited to try for both my boys. So my husband and my son. So we'll see. But right now I really love the Thread Theory shirt pattern. It's a good one for my boys. And then next was my daughter. And I made her, this is the same dress that I made her in her recent module. This is the Miss Ruby Tuesday dress by One Petal Lane. It's a knit dress pattern, and I bought the bundle that comes with the additional bodices and the additional bodices and sleeves and the additional skirts. And there's some ridiculous number of combinations you can make with the original pattern, and then which comes with a couple of different bodices. And you can do a different bodice on the front and the back. So this is the V-neck in the front and the V-neck in the back. So the V-neck in the back goes a little lower. It reminds me of a ballet dress because it's a pretty wide neckline, which you'll see on her. And then obviously the fit and flare. It has a center back seam, but it is a half circle skirt, and that's the only seam on the skirt is the center back. And she loves it. I mean, she loves a good fit and flare. I just think those are so attractive on girls her age. But I used this beautiful French terry, also from Style Maker Fabrics, and I really love those together. I thought that they just really went well together. This kind of a dark pink, cranberry-y, fuchsia-y color goes well with the kind of cranberry in the stripe of this shirt. And then it's got the dusty pink, which, like I said, there were members of the family in the dusty pink. Yeah, this looked really good. And just enough print. I think that this is more of a medium scale print, which I think looked well with the smaller scale of my son's check shirt. And then I was obviously in a solid, and then my husband had his sweater's kind of changed colors, but not really a stripe. It was like, red, and then kind of went to a darker red, and then gray at the bottom. But yeah, she loves this one. There's not much to say about this one. I made the extra small. We did the 3/4 length sleeves. I think this dress also comes in an extra small, but we made the extra small for her. Honestly, she could probably use a full bust adjustment on this. She is 31-inch upper bust and 35.5 full. So she is, which would say yes, the full bust adjustment probably. I just didn't go to the trouble of doing that. And speaking of which, my daughter just poked her head in here. But I think for, if I do another iteration of this dress, especially because this French terry, it does have stretch in it, and it did fall within the pattern recommendations, but since it's not super stretchy, I think probably I should have done a full bust adjustment. So I was getting a little bit of the wrinkles, like right there in the underarm, which indicates that a full bust adjustment's needed. I mean, she doesn't care. It doesn't bother her at all. But going forward, I'll probably do a dartless bust adjustment, full bust adjustment. I do have a video on that if you're interested, on 3 ways you can do a dartless FBA. Anyway, we've lengthened the bodice by 1 inch, which I did for the other dress as well. And yeah, she's very pleased with this, and I think it looked fantastic with her eye color. These are like the color, this sagey green is the color of her eyes. So perfect. So once again, another plus with her. And then my dress, I made the Closet Core Patterns Elodie. I think I kept calling it the Ebony, which is also a Closet Core pattern, but this is not the Ebony, this is the Elodie, which is a wrap dress. Wrap dresses never look good on the hanger. I used this gorgeous rayon slub from Melanated Fabrics, and they just got a whole bunch of fabrics back in right before Black Friday, so it may be available now. I'll link the fabric down below and you can check and see if it is or not. What can I say about this? I did not do a full bust adjustment on this. She drafts for, I guess she just drafts for a B cup, but I picked the size based on my upper bust, and I looked at the finished bust measurements, and this is pretty full through the upper bust, and then it cinches in at the waist with these, let me see, these like release tucks. Let me try and see if you can see that. See those? Like pleats, but they're sewn down. On both sides, and then the same with the back. I guess you would call those pleats, but they're sewn down. Well, they're not sewn down here in the front. Maybe a tuck in the front and a pleat in the back. Anyway. So it kind of gives like the billowy and then brings it in at the waist for a little bit. That really helps with the wrap too, so you don't have too much fabric around your actual waist. And then it has the fuller skirt. I did the longer sleeve length on this, and I wasn't sure that I would, but I think because this rayon is drapey enough that it works. I think if I were using like a cotton lawn, I would go with the shorter sleeve length. But I thought that it looked just fine. I went ahead and made the longer one and then just decided if I thought it overwhelmed me, I would just cut it off to the other shorter sleeve length. But I really liked this length on me, so I kept it. And I love there's a nice deep hem on there on the sleeve that looks really nice. So anyway, I did not do a full bust adjustment because there was enough ease in the bodice that I thought it would be fine with my chest. So my bust is measuring at 39.5 right now, my full bust. 36 on my upper bust. So because when I lost some weight from taking out sugar, my boobs went down a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Anyway, I did though, because a lot of times things have to travel to go over my bust, and even though I'm real short in the torso, that usually uses up a lot of the length in the pattern. So I held up the paper pattern. I didn't want to make a muslin because this is all like grown on, and that's just a lot of fabric to use. So I was just going to make this a wearable muslin, really, and hope it worked out fine for the pictures. So what I did was there is a lengthen and shorten line on the bodice, and I cut it from center front to the side seam and hinged it at the side seam and dropped it an inch. She does have the bust apex marked on this pattern, and I dropped it an inch there, which then dropped it 2 inches at center front. So if you think of like a wedge, when the bust apex was like in the middle of that line, but I wanted that extra inch there. Looking back, I mean, it's fine. I think it sits fine on me, but I think I would reduce that to an inch. I would take it up an inch, I think. Take an inch out of center front. So instead of having it an inch there at the bust apex, I would just do an inch at center front, if that makes sense. I think that would give me enough room for what I needed, and then I think it would be a pretty perfect fit. So I think I will change that. I do want to make more of these. I think this is so attractive. I love a good wrap dress, and I think that this one is just gorgeous. I put in the clear snap like I always do on my wrap dresses. That's just a preference of mine. Now, there is a waistband that you can see here on the dress. The top and the skirt get sewn to the waistband, and the way that she has you do, I followed the pattern per the instructions. The way that she has you do the hole that you pass through is that on the outer waistband and the inner waistband, you baste where the front and the back attach on one side. And then once you've attached the whole dress together, you unpick those basting stitches, and then you're supposed to kind of push them together because you pressed everything open on the inside and then slip stitch them together. It's just kind of fussy to create the hole in the waistband where you can pass that through. It's just really fussy. And I had to like get in there, and I was trying to cut like pieces of the seam allowance from that seam out because they were too bulky and too much. So I think next time I make this dress, I'm just gonna sew the waistband per normal and then just put a buttonhole right behind that seam. Because I do that on all of my wrap dresses, and I just tried it for the sake of this pattern just to see how I liked it, and I'm just gonna do the buttonhole next time. So I tried it. What else? There's a facing that finishes off the front edge. Did a narrow hem on the skirt. Although you could do bias tape on the skirt of this if you wanted to, because it's just, turned twice type thing, which would be pretty. You get a flash of if you used a contrasting bias tape. I serged my raw seams. Anyway, I just think this is a gorgeous dress. I love this color, this kind of a drab green. I think it's a good one on me. And yeah, I love a good solid dress. I mean, you could just dress it up, dress it down. It's very versatile. But I would really like one of these in a print, maybe this spring and summer coming into that. And actually, I have some orange viscose twill that I bought from Minerva in kind of a burnt orange color that I was gonna do this dress in, and then I decided to make it for the family pictures, and orange was not a color that we were using, so that's when I bought this fabric. But I think I still would like to make that dress as well. So this spring and summer, I may be getting another solid one of these dresses, and then I would really like a print. I think that'd be really pretty. And I might try the shorter version even, and maybe the shorter sleeves, so there's a few different options, but I was very pleased with this pattern. I mean, Closet Core, she just does it, Heather does it right. All of her stuff is so easy breezy. Oh, I also did the midi length on this for the skirt length, and I think I ended up taking 3 inches out of the length of the skirt to make it hit midi on me, which is pretty typical for Closet Core patterns. I usually have to take about 3 inches off the bottom half for my height because I'm 5'2". So anyway, very pleased with my dress. I mean, I don't know how much I was freezing on the day that we had those pictures taken, because it's a pretty lightweight rayon. So I don't know how much wear that's gonna get now. I mean, today the high, let's see, what is it? It's like in the 30s. I think the high is only supposed to be in the mid to upper 30s the rest of the week, maybe. I think next week maybe we're supposed to get up into the 40s one day, like upper 40s, but I think pretty much we're in the colder weather now here in Indiana. So I don't know how much that's gonna get worn until spring, probably. So that one may just go live in the closet until it's time to pull it out for spring, but I really love it. Very pleased with how it turned out. I think it's just killer. I guess I could put a turtleneck underneath it. I have that wine colored turtleneck. I think it's the Megan Nielsen Rowan. It's pretty tight fitting. So I could try dressing it up with that. Maybe that with tights. If I had enough layers, I might be able to. Maybe I'll leave it in my closet then. I might be able to layer it up and it'd be okay. I have seen a couple people do that with the Elodie. Put it over a turtleneck, like a tight-fitting turtleneck, and it's looked really good. So we may try that. But there you have it, guys. I was able to get it all done, and we were able to get the family pictures taken without a hitch. The weather cooperated. We were able to, yeah, everything kind of fell into place, you know, touch and go, especially this season of pandemic that we're in. Everything is touch and go, I feel like, right now, as far as any plans, obviously. So we were fortunate we were able to get that done, and yeah. Can't wait to see the finished pictures. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure that I will be sharing anything that Meredith, the photographer, posted. And if you're in the Kansas City area, we went with, it's my sister's friend, but Meredith Gutshall, and she owns White Farm, I think it's White Farm Photography. I'll leave a link to her website down below. She is, I mean, she's an amazing person. I absolutely adore her, but she has a really, really good job of pulling out personality with her pictures. She's just a fantastic photographer. She makes you feel warm. It makes everyone feel at ease, and just really, really good at what she does. So I will leave a link down to that before if you are in the Kansas City area. Okay, that's all I have for today, guys. Sunday is the last day of our jeans sew-along, or M5894. So next week we always have a breather between sew-alongs. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for that yet. But then we start our coat sew-along, our Butterick, can't remember the number, but I'll pop a picture of it, this little set pattern that we're starting, and I'm actually making mine for my sister, and so I got her all fitted into her muslin, so I will have all of that footage per normal, just on a different body other than myself this time. So that's kind of fun and exciting, but that will be up, I think it's the 20th of December is the Sunday that we'll start that sew-along. Okay, that's all I've got for now. I will see you guys next time. Have a good weekend and get some sewing in. Bye.